Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. If you're in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us every Sunday at 10 a.m. There's parking on Hillcrest where the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road in Wilmington, Delaware. Service every Sunday begins at 10 a.m. We invite everyone to come and experience a better quality of life. And on Sunday, September the 11th, we will be celebrating family and friends at 10 a.m. So we invite everyone to come and celebrate family and friends with us. It's our annual barbecue immediately following Sunday service. And for the young kids and for those who like to video game, we will have Tri-State Gaming Limousine with us also for that Sunday. So you have the opportunity to do some gaming. We're just going to have a good time in the Lord, and we invite everyone to come and be with us. We will have a special guest for praise and worship. We normally have our praise team. We will have with us the Choir School of Delaware, who will be doing praise and worship for us on that Sunday. So it's going to be a great time. And service begins at 10 a.m. You want to make sure you get there on time because it fills up. And so I am thankful. If you're not in our area, you can tune in for the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. Every Sunday we go live on Facebook, YouTube, RadioFreeNetwork.com. So you can find us on RadioFreeNetwork.com by clicking on radio. The drop box will appear. Click on the New Life link. Every broadcast is available to you. And on Sunday, the Sunday sermon goes live on YouTube at New Life Christian Center - Pastor Pope. Tune in and receive a word from the Lord that will be life-changing every Sunday at 10:45 a.m. And as always, we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio for you to discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com. We thank you for your support and for your commitment. And for those of you who use the QR code or the link that is provided on Facebook or YouTube, we thank all of you for your commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that things have been moving so fast for you that it is difficult to keep up. And you want to know what can you do to ensure that you keep the pace. So let me start by saying this. You've just got to pace yourself. And this is real important for all of our listeners and viewers. You know, I've talked about this because other people have gone through this challenge and have shared this before in certain ways. But the reality is that for all of us, we've got to pace ourselves continuously, and we have to be intentional about pacing ourselves. There are always going to be ebbs and flows in our lives, both personally and professionally. The problem is that sometimes we pace ourselves in our personal lives and neglect to pace ourselves in our professional lives. Sometimes we pace ourselves in our professional lives, we don't pace ourselves in our personal lives. And one of the things that then happens is that we feel like we're not able to keep up with things. And we have to look for the most effective and efficient methods to keep up with everything. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through this, and so that I break it down for not only you, but for all of our listeners and viewers. What I mean by pacing ourselves. So yesterday I talked to one of our listeners and viewers about getting our body, mind, and spirit in rhythm. But we also have to pace ourselves by managing our time effectively and efficiently. And everyone knows one of the things I'm a big stickler on is managing time. So I'll give you an example. For the broadcast, for example, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday, every broadcast is done in a 2-hour window. So we start production at 11:30, and we start the broadcast at 12:30, and we have the post-production broadcast from 1 o'clock until 1:30. I want everyone to understand what that involves. So we have to, from 11:30 to 12:30 every day, we're going through communications that are sent in from all of our listeners and viewers to determine and select which ones, based on how I've been prayerful over all of the communications, based on what themes we see, so that we can address many of the listeners and viewers while we're addressing one particular communication. And that's done from 11:30 to 12:30. So I'm very stickler on time about everything. And then the broadcast goes live at 12:30, but that means that we have posting to do for our sponsors. We have, the clock to adjust. Everything has to be done within an hour. That means that I have to pace my day from 6 a.m. until 11:30. Everything that's going to be done between 6 and 11:30. Because from 11:30 to 12:30, production has to be done. From 12:30 to 1, we're live on the air. From 1 o'clock till 1:30 is post-production. And I'm saying all of that to you to say everything is about time management. And when I'm done at exactly 1:30, everything is scheduled from that moment forward, what's going to be done for the remainder of my day. That is pacing. We term it from the corporate environment as time management, but that's pacing yourself so that you don't get behind, you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel like you can't keep up. Does it happen? Yes, there's going to be times when all of us are going to feel like we're struggling to keep up. So in addition to the business day, I have a home life, and I have to determine what has to be done in my household, what has to be done in my home. Now, I'm not the chief operating officer in my home. That would be my wife. But I'm the CEO and the CFO and the CIO. And what I mean by that is there are very specific things that have to be done to operate your household. So you've got to pace yourself. You've got to make certain that you are, not. So I will say this: I have a co-CFO because my wife can be responsible also for making certain things are done, particularly when it involves our family, because we have children who are adults, but they're still our children. We want to make certain that they get to the place that they need to be in their life. So, praise God. And so I say all of that to say, everything's about pacing. You've got your professional life, you've got your personal life, and you've got your professional life. So one of the things that I'm going to say to you is, it's about time management and it's about lifestyle management. One of the things that we struggle with often is that we don't map out, most people don't map out every hour of the day. And my problem with that is, I feel that if every hour of the day, every minute of the day doesn't have a purpose, then I'm wasting God's time. And I refuse to waste God's time, because I wasted enough of that in the first half of my life. So I say all of that to say, we've got to do a better job. There is going to be ebbs and flows. And the reason that you're going to have some ebbs and flows, particularly, is if you have children or if you have elderly parents and there are things going on, there are outside forces going on that you are trying to make certain that everyone is in a good place and at peace. So there's going to be ebbs and flows. But we have to be able to manage all of that. And there are going to be times when you feel that you cannot keep up. But the more we're intentional and the more we are intentional about time management, the more effective and efficient we become. And when you have those moments that you feel that you cannot keep up with the pace, you'll find they won't last long. It'll be as simple sometimes as taking some time and maybe for 2 hours just relaxing, meditating, and just allowing yourself to breathe. And maybe, as my wife likes to do, is take a nap. She calls those one of life's simple pleasures. And I say all of that to say, you're going to be fine. Just sit down and be more intentional about mapping everything out. Because one of the things that I encourage everyone to do is make certain that everything in your life has order, from the smallest of things to the largest of things. You want to make sure that everything is in order. And then when the ebbs and flows occur, you're not going to find it difficult to deal with them. And even if it's difficult keeping the pace, you'll find that you won't be out of pace for long. You know, another analogy. So you've all heard me, not our new listeners and viewers today for the very first time, but you've all heard me talk about, I'm a runner. And I've run 5 marathons, I've run a lot of races, but I'm a runner. And one of the things I learned long ago about running is you've got to find your pace and get your body in rhythm. Well, it's the same thing with our mind and the same thing with our spirit. We have to get a rhythm, and we have to stay in our rhythm. And the rhythm for running is, if you can run and have a conversation while you're running. Now, a lot of days I run by myself, but if I'm running with someone else, I should be able to have a conversation with that person and not be out of breath, not exhausting my breath while having a conversation. I should be able to do that, because if I'm doing that, then I'm in rhythm. If I'm struggling because I'm talking to someone about the course we're going to run, or if I'm talking about a topic that's of interest to us, and I'm struggling, then my body's out of rhythm. I'm running too fast. I'm not in my rhythm. I'm not in my pace. You got to find your pace. Whatever your pace is, everyone's not going to be the same. I can make some recommendations. You know, I've told everyone I block out everything in 2-hour segments for the day. 2-hour segments, because I found that you're not going to get everything done in 1 hour. And if you do get what you're done in an hour, everything done that you need to do within an hour, you're going to find that in order for you to review what's been done and make certain that you've gotten everything accomplished that you wanted to get accomplished, you're going to need some additional time. I block everything out in 2-hour increments. Think about it. We've got a 24-hour day. 8 hours of that you need to get the proper amount of rest. So there's 8 hours. Those are 4 blocks of 2 hours. And then, you're going to work for 10 hours a day. So that's 18 hours. Remember, there's 5 components to business that you need to block out 2 hours a day. And then you can, because everything divided by 2 is going to give you an even number equal. So it doesn't allow us to throw ourselves off. That's really another reason for doing that in those increments, because it allows you to get in a pace. It allows you to pace yourself. Don't be deceived. There's going to be some ebbs and flows, but we can handle those ebbs and flows. And even when we feel that we get out of pace, eventually, that we can't keep up with the pace, eventually, it won't take long, but eventually we'll get back into rhythm. We'll get back into the pace that we need to be in to be effective and efficient. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been told by your friends that your standards are too high, and you want to know, why do your friends think you are too stuck up and too conceited to date someone that they think is appropriate for you to date? So let me begin by saying this. It's a good thing you have standards, because if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. It's good that we have standards about the people that we decide to join ourselves with, that we decide to yoke ourselves with. You've got to have standards, or you're going to end up, I've used this analogy in a sermon previously, and I made a joke to my congregation, and I said, one of the things I always taught my children is date someone with the character of your mother. Don't, and I'll go a little further with this, but one of the things I told them is, don't just date someone because, you think they are cute, attractive, handsome, whatever the case may be, not because of how well they drive, not because of how great their career is, not because of the way they live, but first you got to start with the character. And I always told them this. I refused to raise a village of idiots because I didn't want them to grow up, get married, and bring home a cluster bring home a village of idiots. Or I didn't want to raise nuts because I didn't want them to grow up and get married and bring home a cluster of nuts. The point I was trying to make is, we've got to be real careful about who we yoke ourselves with. Now, that's not to say everybody's going to be at the same place you are in life, but they've got to be willing to, there's a term that young people use today, level up. They got to be willing to go to the next level. They've got to be willing to look at where they are, examine themselves, and say, okay, I'm ready to go to the next level. And if they're at a higher standard than you, you still got to look at their character. Because everybody's not going to be at the same place at the exact same time all the time. But you got to have standards. Your friends want you to date someone just so that all of you can date with your significant others. That's their only concern. This is all about a good time to them. It's someone else to contribute to the tab. It's someone else to contribute to the splitting of the checks. It's fun to them. You're looking for a life partner, and that's a good thing. If they're saying that you're stuck up, no, you're thinking up. You're thinking at the next level. You're not. Listen, stop worrying about what they say. And sometimes we need to get a new class of friends. And what I mean by that is, you gotta, if your friends are saying the wrong things to you, then they're not at your level. If they're telling you that your standards are too high, they're telling you that they're not thinking at your level. Your standards are higher than their standards. They see someone, they think he's cute, they think you should date him. That's not effective and efficient. That's not you living to achieve your best quality of life. Keep standing on your standards. And be mindful of what I've shared. Because I am, listen, I know, I see it every communication that comes in about relationships. I see it in the lives of people that I know that are single. Some of them, they're still dating with the same old method that we've always dated. We dated for entertainment. We dated for companionship. We dated for entertainment. We dated for, I've got to eat, you got to eat, let's go to dinner. No. Yes, I understand that we're visual people. God gave us eyes to look at the field that's out there. The question is, are you going to pick up a rock from the field, or are you going to search for a diamond? And the question is that you have to mine for diamonds. So, you gotta understand that means we've got to search. For us men, we have to search, and for you ladies, you have to be found. He who finds a good thing, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. So we want to make sure we get the order right. That's the first thing. And we just need to date with dating should be a mission, with purpose. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to church. We're going to go out to lunch. We're going to go to church. We're going to go out to lunch. We're going to go to church. We're going to go out to lunch. You're going to do that 3 times. By then you'll know everything you need to know about whether or not it's something you want to pursue, to yoke yourself with someone. And if they're not doing that, then they're not the person that God has appointed for you. Because that's how God shows you, reveals to you who he's appointed for your life. That's a revelation from God that I received, and I'm thankful for it, because now I can share that information with others so that we can really build the best quality of life, so that we can really build a great quality of life and experience the fullness of God. How can you walk together unless you agree? You got to be able to walk together in agreement with the people we yoke ourselves with. So your standards are not too high. They may be setting the bar too low. The one thing we don't want to do is set the bar too low. You can never go to the highest heights if you set the bar too low. Look, if you are setting your standards at this level, that's exactly what you can expect. If you're setting your standards at a level that's higher than mediocrity, that's what you can expect. That's what you can expect to achieve. So yes, you want someone who is in a relationship with the Lord. Yes, you want someone who's committed to their success. Yes, you want someone who has a short-term plan, mid-term plan, long-term plan for their life. You don't have any of those things. What do you have to offer? A good time? You don't. We're not in living life for just a good time. You can live life in Christ and have a good time, but we're not just living for a good time, or at least we shouldn't be. And that's the problem with our society today. Too many people are living just for that, for a good time. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be just a good time. You want to be someone who is building a great quality of life. A life that says, I'm blessed and I'm walking in the fullness of God. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Porsche America. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will find a dealership in your area that you can view the inventory that they have available. And if they do not have what you desire to own in stock, you can look at PorscheAmerica.com and they will help you build out online a Porsche that would be of interest to you to own. And if you already own a Porsche and you're in need of service, you can, if you're in our area, you can go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager. If you're in the market to purchase, he will make certain that you're taken care of. And if you already own a Porsche, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, and you're just in need of service, contact PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, Service Manager, PorscheDelaware.com. He will have an appointment scheduled for you, pick up your vehicle at your home or office, drop off your vehicle, provide you with a loaner car, and return your vehicle to you when your service is completed. PorscheDelaware.com is one of our sponsors of our annual Achievers Golf Tournament. Stop in at the dealership. You will find everything that you could possibly need to own one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured. PorscheDelaware.com and PorscheAmerica.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your family has finally gotten where you want them to go, and you want to know, how do you keep everyone on point? That is the million-dollar question, the multi-million-dollar question, but the answer is prayer. You know, I know that's, you may be saying, that's, Pastor Pope, that's real simple. You're a pastor. It's real easy for you to say that, but we've gotten away from the foundation. You know, we've got to build our lives on a foundation in Christ. And the only way to do that is in a relationship with Him. And the only way to enhance our relationship with Him is by prayer. So we've got to stay in prayer constantly. Let me share something with you. That is, it's not just because I'm a pastor, it's because I now know better. When you know better, you do better, right? There is never a day that goes by, and I'm not talking about just praying over my meals. There is never a day that goes by that I'm not going to be in prayer for my family, for my loved ones, for those I come in contact with, those who ask for prayer. Prayer is the foundation that we stand on, that we live on. You know, we had a conversation about that in Bible study last night, about how someone was praying for us when we weren't even praying for ourselves. But when you know better, you do better. So you want to make sure that prayer is the foundation of all things that you do for you and for your family. Prayer is going to be the foundation that you stand on, that allows you to continue, you and your family to continue to flourish. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. If you're in our area on Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, come and worship.